Chapter 1. Please believe me, I'm not crazy. Hello, Mr. Bradley. I've looked over your case briefly. Why'd you fire your last lawyer? Looks like he was able to get you a reasonably light sentence under the circumstances. He was a dud. Wanted me to plead insanity. Thought I was a nut job or something. This is bigger than me, and he didn't even tell the judge anything I told him happened. Just immediately walks up there saying I'm a nutter. Meanwhile, we're running out of time, and we're all gonna die. Mr. Bradley, please calm down, take a breath, and start from the beginning. Well, last Thursday, Jessica called me sounding real anxious like, saying she was in trouble and needed my help. I raced over there because I thought maybe something happened between her and Greg. When she let me in, I remember her face was pale as a ghost. The room was dimly lit with a bunch of those fat white candles you get from the Santeria store. Jess started pacing around nervously, her eyes darting around the room like ping pong balls. The air felt thick as molasses as she's struggling to find words to tell me what the hell is going on. So she's all whispering. She's like, Tom, I can't believe this is happening. What the hell is inside me? She flipped the thick black curtain of hair covering her neck over her shoulder, and I could see green, thick bunches of tendrils or veins. I don't know what the hell it was. It was just pulsing beneath her skin, just right on her neck, just throbbing. So now I'm concerned. I'm like, holy shit, this is bad. Look, Jess, we don't have time to panic. When I was younger, my uncle told me a story where he encountered something like this happening when he served during the war. We need to follow these 7 steps my uncle gave me. It might sound crazy, but we're running out of time. So, Jessie nods, and I'll start letting her know. Step 1, isolate yourself. So I tell her, first, you need to isolate yourself from others because we can't risk the parasite spreading. At the moment, her boyfriend Greg was working late, so we were the only ones in the house. So, check. Step 2, gathering supplies. So I says, Jessie, we need some specific supplies. We need a flashlight, a knife, and a bottle of salt. It's the only way to weaken a creature. So she went in the hallway to grab a flashlight from the closet, and I grabbed the salt and a small knife from the kitchen drawer, and I met her right back in the living room. Step 3, you make a salt circle. So I tell her you got to clear some space so as I can make a circle of salt, and you're going to stand in the middle. It won't cross the barrier, just trust me, this is how we trap it. Once I's finished, I set a chair in the middle of for her to sit in and grab the flashlight for the next step. Step 4, you got to locate the host. So I grabbed the flashlight and I'm just using it to examine her because the parasite leaves like a little mark. It's usually on the back of the neck. So, I'm leaning over her. I slowly moved her hair from the back of her neck as I leaned over with the flashlight shining real bright. And when I tell you I almost choked and gagged at that fleshy, glowing mass just pulsating on the back of her neck, and it was spreading down her spine. Jessie reached her hand up to touch it, but I quickly stopped her. So she goes, is it bad, Tommy? I can feel it throbbing. And I don't want to trouble her, so I say, don't worry, Jessie, everything's going to be okay. I steeled myself for the next step as I grabbed the knife. Now, Jessie, I says, the next step, I'm going to need you to stay perfectly still, no matter how bad it hurts. Okay, girl? Because step 5, you have to extract the parasite. So I'm telling her, trying to coach her, get her ready. I tell her this is really going to hurt. It's already started to spread, but we have to cut it out. Now, I'll do my best to be quick. I remember my uncle saying you got to remove it like you're digging a spud out of tater and be quick before it spreads to the rest of the body. So I take the knife and I begin the scraping and scooping motion as quick as possible, carefully removing the mask. Just a screaming bloody murder and trying to stay as still as possible. By the time I finished, she was bleeding like a stuck pig, and the glowy fleshy thing is just pulsating on the floor. I grabbed the nearest thing I can find to stop the bleeding, which was my vintage Northwest jean jacket. And, I give it to her so she can cover up the hole in the back of her neck and try to stop it a little bit while I grab the salt for the next step. I could hear a group of the neighbors banging on the door, telling me to open up, threatening to call the police, but I could not let anyone in yet until, I finished all 7 steps. You understand me, man? And, next step was step 6. We got to seal the wound with salt. So after we remove it, we'll pour salt on the wound. It weakens the parasite and ensures it won't return. So I remove the jacket, and I pour salt in the open wound and the skin around it and quickly replace it with the jacket, and I tell Jessie to hold it down firmly. She nearly passes out from the pain, but I catch her when her knees buckle, and I sit her right down in the chair. I look down at the mask to make sure it's still in a circle, and I see it just slowly trying to call out, and I realize we forgot the most important thing we need for the final step. Step 7, destroying the parasite. So I tells her we have to destroy it. And she's all like, Tommy, I don't feel so good. Maybe you should call me an ambulance and just put it in a jar or something. And I'm like, we can't just throw it in a jar. It's gonna escape. We have to burn it and destroy it quickly before it's too late. It's already gotten too big. She's all like, well, I don't have a fireplace last time I checked. So I'm like, the oven. Just stay here. I tell her I'm going to take care of you. I'll be right back. I ran to the kitchen and I turned the stove up 500 degrees, high as it'll go. And I grabbed her big old silver pot that she used for the crab boils, because it was the only thing that I could see big enough. And I just raced to the living room. I used the lid of it to scrape, and I just slammed that thing inside before I tossed it in the oven. It's just crazy, man. I get the shivers just thinking about it. Before even I can get to my phone and call the ambulance, the door's kicked in. Here come the police like a SWAT team, and they just tasered me down and cuffed me before I could even get a word out. They took one look at all that blood, and they just started running with this wild story about love triangles, saying I'm a jilted lover, saying I killed Jessie because she was pregnant, and charging me for attempting to murder Greg. The whole time, we're all in danger if that thing got out. I have walking nightmares about it, man. I can't even use the shitter without feeling something's down there waiting to get up inside me. I swear I saw a small green lump wriggling on the neck of one of the guards, and I can't sleep, man. It's been 3 damn days and I can't sleep. I need you to check and see if that shit's dead. Mr. Broadley, even if I did believe this story, what could I possibly do? I'm just a lawyer. I'm not an alien hunter. You hired me to help you fight your case, remember? Maybe you're right. Maybe there isn't anything you can do. Or what if what you can do is just enough to save humanity? Either way, if I'm right or wrong, imagine how detrimental it will be to find out later when you were already warned. And by then, it'll be too late. Please believe me, I'm not crazy.